What's going on, guys? Welcome back into the channel. Today we have a bonus video, two videos uploaded today, and today we're going to be covering a month 2 update for our MLB The Show 20 Pittsburgh Pirates franchise. Now, bear with me, we have a lot to cover today, and I'm going to try to pace myself a little bit better, so that I don't run out of breath this time by the end of the video. I'm going to try and take some more deep breaths and actually get the point across this time without just rushing through everything. So, first thing I want to cover is our record, and then I want to get into the title of the video, which is Big Time Managers Make Big Time Moves, because we've had a few players on the move, and I think we've really improved our outlook moving forward, and you guys are going to want to see what we've accomplished in terms of improving the team moving forward. So let's go ahead and look at our calendar. So, coming off the month of April, where we had all these losing games, we lost 8 or 9 of our last 11 games, had a really tough stretch at the end of April, and we were looking at like 14 and 17, and we were really thinking, we would need a really big time bounce back from this team in order to really do anything and put ourselves in a competitive position. And so we were looking at a Miami Marlins series in the month of May, where we could potentially sweep them and get some momentum moving forward. As you guys can see, we are sitting at second place in the division. We are firmly planted in the NL Central race, and we are firmly planted in competitive position for the league as a whole, which is really nice to see. And that's why when we were offered a deal, I could not refuse. I had to take it, and we went ahead and made some moves. And so we'll get to that in a minute, but let's go back to the calendar. So, like I said, we were staring at a Miami Marlins 3-game series that I felt like we had a lot of potential to win, or sweep. And so we went in, we took care of business, and we swept all 3 games. Trevor Williams got a win, Derek Holland got another win, and Rich Rodriguez got a win coming out of the bullpen as well. So we got a 3-game series, and it gave us a ton of momentum moving forward into the month of May. And so I was looking forward at this series against the Mets, a team that is kind of sitting in a position similar to, against the Yankees, a team that is actually far and above beyond what we should be. And I was thinking, even if we just take one game against this team, that would be great. But I think we got enough momentum off of sweeping this Miami Marlins series that we were able to take both games in this 2-game series against the Yankees, which was huge because that just built on the momentum that we had before. Then you mix in the fact that we had an off day prior to that Yankees series. We also had an off day after that Yankees series. We were just primed for more success. So we played Philadelphia, where we actually won all 3 games. We did pick up a loss against St. Louis, but we picked up 2 wins after that and won the series. We got another day off. We played the Mets, who, like I said, were at this point in a very similar position to us. We got a 3-game sweep against them, and then lost in the 4th game of the series, which was really nice because we were picking up a ton of wins at this point. I'm like, dang, we're like really close to the lead in the division. We could really pull this thing off and maybe be, hyper competitive this year. So things were looking really good. Then we went to Chicago. We had a couple tough losses against the division leaders, and then we picked up a win in the 3rd game. So this put us pretty much firmly in second position in the division. Chicago just continues to win games, and I'm not sure if we're going to be able to overtake them, but we're at least in a position to compete with them. Obviously, they have 2 more games played than us, which are 2 wins, and if we picked up 2 wins, we'd be right there tied with them. Next, we went to play San Francisco. This was a home series. We lost the first game in a 1-0 pitcher's duel, and then we won the next 3 games out of that 4-game series. So again, another series win for us. We played Cincinnati. We went to Cincinnati, and we got a 3-game sweep against them. And then we had this series against the St. Louis Cardinals, where it was a high-scoring affair. We lost 7-10 in the first game. We won 10-4 in the second game, and then we just now picked up a loss in the 3rd game against St. Louis in that series. So we did lose that series. We only lost 2 series that month, and things are looking really positive for us moving forward. And so then we get into some of the talks about trades that were offered to us, and the outlook of the team moving forward. So one of the things that I think is worth talking about is our schedule moving forward. So we obviously have a 2-game series against Cincinnati here, which is very winnable. We have a series against St. Louis, who we've proved we can be competitive against. I would like to come back and get a series win against them. This is a 4-game series after losing this series to the Cardinals right here at the end of May. Then we have San Francisco, who's, kind of below us at this point. We should be able to pick up wins there. We have the Rockies, who are kind of negative. We should be able to pick up wins there, and hopefully that gives us enough momentum that we can play well against the Yankees again. Another 2-game series sandwiched between off days should be doable for us. Then we have Toronto, who is sitting at a similar position to us. We have Washington, who's going to be a real challenge towards the end of the month, and then we follow it up with Milwaukee and end with another series against Colorado. So we have a mix of, what I would think to be easy and really tough games. I think that this, lines up to be another good month for us. So we'll see what happens. I think that this team can continue to compete at the level that they are, and they've surprised me quite a bit. Now let's talk about some of the trades that were offered to us, and I'm going to pull up my phone just so that I have all the records here and I can kind of discuss everything straight up as is. So, the first trade that was offered to me was Tampa Bay. Is it Tampa Bay? Yeah, Tampa Bay offered me straight up Tyler Glasnow in return for Gregory Polanco. And so, what did we do? I had no choice but to accept the trade. But I was thinking, and you guys will see, Tyler Glasnow is not on the team. I can't keep Tyler Glasnow on my team because it doesn't make sense that we would trade them there last year. He does really well, then they trade them back to me. But what I can do is I can work this in a way that it is a 3-team trade. And so what I did was I explored for a third team that would be looking for a guy like Tyler Glasnow and, a team that would be willing to give me something valuable in return. So I ended up settling on the Marlins. The Marlins ended up getting Tyler Glasnow. I gave them Joe Musgrove, which I know a lot of you guys might complain, but I was getting Chris Archer back at this point, and Chris Archer, because he's coming back off injury and I promoted him to the MLB, his confidence is way up, so he's up to an 81 right now. So he fills in that spot where Musgrove was basically exactly what I would need him to. So my rotation kind of remains untouched at this point, which is really nice. The rotation pretty much stays the same. I lose a little bit of value in Musgrove, and then I also traded away left fielder Pablo Reyes. So if we can go over to the Marlins, I'll show you everybody that the Marlins ended up with. So they ended up with Pablo Reyes, who apparently got injured for them now at this point, but he was batting very well. He's a pretty solid prospect, all-around decent player. Decent bat for a 62 overall. He's got B potential for a 25-year-old, which is a good prospect for them, seeing as their left field prospects are pretty weak right now. In addition to that, like I said, they ended up getting Tyler Glasnow, who should slot into their rotation very quickly. He was a 73 overall. I think with confidence with being traded, he's down to a 71 or because of his ERA or something. But I was figuring at this point in time, he was essentially slotting in as their 4th pitcher. And so his confidence is down now a little bit. And, technically speaking, he does slot in as their 4th pitcher because if you look at who they have up in the MLB, Tyler Glasnow is their 4th MLB pitcher, which is really nice because he slots in there perfectly. He helps them out, he gives them some future value, and it's great for them. And then in addition to that, they got Joe Musgrove, who slots in as their 2nd best pitcher, who also has potential moving forward. So they got a good haul out of this trade. What they ended up giving up to me is they ended up giving up a right fielder in J.J. Bleday. Now, they have a ton of right field talent, and he wasn't their best right fielder on the roster at that point. I believe that he has just skyrocketed in overall based on his confidence now that he has joined the Pittsburgh Pirates. And I will go ahead and check our roster here in a second. I'll show you what our return was for him. So or what our return was in this trade. So the Pittsburgh Pirates ended up receiving J.J. Bleday, who is actually from Danville, Pennsylvania, which is one of the reasons I like this trade, was because we added a local guy to the team, and then we actually added a relief pitcher that has a lot of potential in Eliezer Hernandez. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but he's a guy that I've used in the past, a guy that has good potential, and a guy that could actually be a starting pitcher in the future. So he's up to a 70. He was about a 68 when we traded for him. He's got B potential. So he solves one of our issues, which was, potential and, real talent at the bullpen position. Now, I wouldn't mind using him as a starting pitcher because he does have 67 stamina, and I might throw him in there for a start every once in a while. So it's nice to have a guy like this that has flexibility and adds a lot of talent to our bullpen. So we got back a really good relief pitcher to help us out, and we got back a super, super good right fielder in J.J. Bleday, who has just skyrocketed in overall for us. I think that he's doing really well defensively, and that's why he's gone up so much. So he's at a 76 overall with a potential as a 22-year-old. Like I said, he is from Danville, PA, and so I really wanted to add him to the team. I thought adding a local guy would be good for the organization, somebody that the local fans can get behind, and they'll be excited to watch his development. And he's MLB ready. I can have him up. He's probably better than Polanco at this point in time, and it works out nicely. And then, like I said, Tampa Bay got back Gregory Polanco. It's the guy that they wanted in the trade, so that is what it is, but it ended up being a nice 3-team trade that worked out really nicely pretty much for us and the Marlins. I don't know why Tampa Bay offered the trade, but I couldn't decline it when they offered me the trade 3 times. I declined it twice, and then by the 3rd time I was like, you know what? I have to find a way to make this work because I'm getting value out of this, so I made the trade happen. I made the 3-team trade happen. Now, what I wanted to do, I wanted to pull up a couple tidbits of information that I had on this guy that I traded for. So, J.J. Bleday, the outlook on him is he's the prize draft pick from the 2019 draft. Bleday is a player that scouts said was the best pure hitter in the draft class. As a college pick, experts expect him to move fast in the organization provided his bat keeps producing. With a fast start, I could see him potentially getting boosted up in the minor league divisions by the end of the season. So this was last season's outlook for him. So really high potential player, a guy that could be really good for us, and a guy that's local that the fans can get behind. So that was our first major add. Then we performed a couple more trades because I was like, you know what, while we're at it, I might as well make a couple moves. And so the first thing that I did, and I have to bring up pictures for it because I have pictures saved of what these trades are. And actually, I think it might have only been 2 trades. Yeah, okay, so I did 2 trades here. I traded away a bunch of prospects for a couple prospects in the Diamondback system. So the 2 guys that I got back from the Diamondbacks, I got catcher Dalton Varsho, who is a 64 overall C potential that, he's supposed to be like the 2nd or 3rd best prospect in the Diamondback system, but for some reason the roster only has him at C potential. I believe he actually starts with D potential, but for some reason he has C on here. So he must have been boosted up at some point by his play or something like that. And so we get a decent catching prospect in return. And then in addition to that, we were able to bring in closing pitcher prospect. Who was it? Gerson, I don't know how to pronounce his name. You guys can let me know down in the comments section. Batista, who again adds to our bullpen talent, adds to our ability in the future to improve this bullpen and have a competitive back end of the bullpen. So we were able to add a good relief pitcher in that, and we only gave up a couple prospects that really honestly weren't that valuable to us. I'll go ahead and scroll over to the Diamondbacks and show you guys who we gave up for him. So we gave up left fielder Logan Hill, who could have been a good prospect for us, I'm not going to lie. But, at 26 years old, as a 65 overall, I believe he was a higher overall on our team. He's a little bit lower now because of his confidence, but he just really never projected to fit into our team or into our situation at all. And the reason being is that we have so many other good outfield prospects. So he got dealt in this deal. We got rid of third baseman Jesse Madrado, who, a young 24-year-old player, but with deep potential. Just kind of added a little bit of value to the trade that could kind of top it off and make it more worth their while. And then in addition to that, we added Brett Pope, who I'm not seeing on here. I don't know where he ended up. I don't know if they moved him or if maybe they cut him or something. But there was another prospect in this trade, and I'm not seeing him at the moment. There's another prospect in this trade that I think had B potential that essentially allowed the trade to go through and make it even. And so it wasn't anybody that had particularly high value to us. It was kind of a, lower down the line B potential type of guy in Brett Pope. And so we were able to make that trade happen that added a nice future reliever for us and a future catcher for us. And so the other thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to read off a little bit of information about Dalton Varsho to you guys. So the takeaway with Dalton Varsho is he's a Wisconsin native. He notched 18 home runs, 21 stolen bases with an impressive 301 average in 2019 at Double-A. He was the 2019 catcher prospect of the year on Prospects 1500. There will always be questions about his ability to stick at catcher, but I think he's fine and should at least qualify there for years to come. I expect him to put up some eye-popping numbers and vault up the prospect list. He could bring in rare power speed combo at the catcher position to the majors in the second half of 2020. And so I don't know why he is so low rated. I don't know why his development isn't higher, but we're going to try and make him into an MLB starter in the future. We're going to have some nice competition between Cal Raleigh and Dalton Varsho, and it should turn into, hopefully, at least one solid future catcher for this team. And so that was what I wanted to recap there with the moves that we made for the team. And so just going by position, we can recap where we're at right now. Jamison Tyone is in, Chris Archer is back finally, Trevor Williams, Mitch Keller, and Chad Cole are all up at the major league level. We still have... Oh no, we sent Derek Holland back down to the minors because we didn't have room for him after adding Eliezer Hernandez. So our relief staff is the same guys plus Eliezer Hernandez, and they're all doing really well. Keone Kela and Scott Foster still at the closer, called up at the closer positions. We are still rolling with Stallings and Murphy at the catcher positions. Like I said, we added Varsho, so we have some good prospects that could turn into something for us in the future, which is really nice. That's what we wanted to fix with the catcher position. Like I said, we also wanted to fix our prospects at the bullpen position, the relief pitcher, and closing pitcher positions, and so we added in some guys like Eliezer Hernandez and Jerson Batista, which is, I assume, how you pronounce his name. Jose Ozuna will hopefully be back in oh no, that's right, he's got a torn ACL, so he's done for the season. Right now we essentially just have Josh Bell at the major league level. We have Adam Frazier, Newman, and Kramer all up because they're batting very well. Colin Moran doing very well still. Eric Gonzalez and Cole Tucker both up at the major league level, both performing very well. Left fielder Brian Reynolds is doing solid, 7 home runs, 263 average. We'd like to see more out of him with how good his contact is, but you can't complain when the team is doing as well as they are. Isaiah Larkin is developing. Like I said, this is a made-up character, so I might be looking to trade him just to get a real player back onto the team. I don't know how he ends up on the roster. I don't know why there are still made-up players in the game, but it is what it is. He doesn't slot out as a future starter for us. It's going to be Swaggerty eventually, hopefully, and it's just a matter of what we decide to do with Larkin. We could use him as a bench bat, and this is one of those things where, this being an interactive series, I'd like your feedback on this. Should we just roll with it? Should we keep him on the team? Should we trade him away for a real prospect? What do you guys think we should do? Let me know down in the comments section below. In addition to that, like I said, we got JJ Bleday. Emphasis on the fact that he's a local guy, somebody that the fans can get behind, somebody that will help put fans in the seats of the stadium, and is a very, very high potential prospect that could really help turn this team into something competitive. Like I said, I don't think we damaged the team at all. I think we just helped ourselves moving forward with regards to this trade, and I think that our prospects look really good moving forward. And by prospects, I don't just mean our actual prospects, I mean our outlook for getting wins as we move forward. So, like I said, I'll continue to keep you guys updated as this series progresses. We are now on June 2nd, and the trade deadline is July 30th, I believe, so we have about 2 months to make any more moves. I can't see myself making too many more moves, but to be truthful with you, if another team offers me a trade that is that favorable, I'm not going to pass up the offer, and I'm going to turn it into something that could really help our team out. You guys can trust me on that. After making that trade into a 3-team deal and making it work out the way that it would make sense, I think that things are looking really nice moving forward. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. If you guys appreciate all of the MLB content, or if you appreciate just the franchise in general, make sure you leave a like on the video. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one, and I hope you guys have a great night. I'll see you.